Oh. So before we start, we're just gonna kind of do attendance. We have two alternates, so we'll just start down at this end. If you just want to say your name and we'll work our way down.
Eric Probst.
Aaron Bonsa,
Jessica Molchek.
Amanda Larson.
Courtney Kelly.
Alan Holland.
All right, if you guys want to stand for the pledge. There we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Items of community interest may include recognizing, recognizing citizens and staff for outstanding contributions to the community. A reminder about an upcoming event that is organized or sponsored by the governing body. And announcements of imminent threat to public safety that has arisen after the posting of this agenda.
I think we both do.
You want to do that? Do we have any announcements or upcoming events?
Thing.
Yeah.
Some of you are aware, some of you are not, but we have a new city council chamber that's almost finished. It's over at the library on 226 Countryside. Fingers crossed that our meetings in September will be at that location. When we move to that location, we won't have the Zoom option anymore for you guys, so it'll be in person only. Also, there are a couple of you that haven't done the cybersecurity training. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go check your emails. It's going to be an email from LocalGovU, I think is what it's called. And then I wanted to show you right quick the board portal. I included this in the email that I sent for you guys to let me know if you're going to be here or not. So if you didn't get it, let me know. But you guys have access to this board portal. And I will just click on today's. This shows all of the agenda items, just like you would see it on the agenda. When you click on these, you'll see the staff report. Any other documentations that may be included will be listed right here. If there's a specific speaker, it'll be listed here. This is especially good for the chair or co-chair because everything's kind of all in one place. If you scroll down, you can scroll back and forth from the previous item to the next item. You can also put notes on here if there's something that you want to ask to remember to ask a question on or to get clarification on. You can put notes in there. You can also, at the top of each one in the top right corner, you can check this star. And then when you go back to your list, I don't know which one that was, but if you scroll down, you'll see that star there. And that'll be your reminder to say, oh, I have a note here. Let me go see why did I do this? So it's pretty handy. Those notes that you put on there are only visible to you, no one else on the board. So just want to be sure you guys were aware that you had that. If you don't, let me know. If you have trouble logging in, let me know.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Something.
We're about 2 months away from Peanut Festival. It's going to be October 5th. We are still looking for volunteers if anyone's interested in volunteering at the Peanut Festival. And we still have a few vendor spots available. Additionally, we do have a senior fit program that we run every Tuesday and Thursday. So we're actually changing it up a little bit. And on Thursday, we're doing something called Senior Fit Move. It's just going to be a more fluid senior fit, just something where you're upright and moving around. Currently, we host that at the North Rock Church over here on the corner. But as soon as that community center is back open, we'll move everyone back over there. So it's every Tuesday and Thursday.
Is that it? Okay, so we'll just move on to department updates. Receiving a report regarding Trivedi Park. Oh, yeah. The citizen input. Oh, God, every time. Thank you. That's good to know. Anybody need to have any input? Great, that's good.
That's good to know. Okay, so we're gonna receive a report over Trivedi Park and any discussions that are regarding that park.
Yeah, so the city of Aubrey recently acquired 22 acres of land off Spring Hill Road. Approximately 2 acres of that is going to be reserved for a water pump station and some utility easements along the eastern part of the property. I know we've spoke a little bit about Trivedi Park in the past, but we are kind of at that part where we do need a little bit of input from the board as far as what you think we might want to see out there. So I'll leave it open to discussion.
Trivedi Park was the park that had the, marshy, it was like a family had given it and they took a space, that was that park, right? So,
Yes.
okay. I thought there was not, like, it wasn't big enough to do. It was, we could do like a small pavilion or something like that. Is that accurate?
City's been mowing it, is that correct? There's
Yeah.
that little spot that doesn't have any fence right there, you can kind of access it, like,
Is there enough space for any of the fields that we would need for athletics, like soccer fields, baseball fields? Practice
Oh,
fields?
yeah.
Probably not in a competitive nature.
Mhm.
You could probably put a couple of soccer goals out there just for the simple fact of practicing or to have kids that just simply visit the park and want to kick a ball around. Similar with the baseball field, it's not anything where you'd want to put a competitive field there.
But we could supply practice fields.
Potentially, but it's not, based off of our conversations with engineers, it's not the best spot for a baseball field specifically, but again, if you wanted to put soccer goals out there, it would simply just, we throw 2 soccer goals down and let them go out there and kick the ball if they see fit, but that's about the max that you would want to see as far as any fields or sports complexes out there. It's just really not made for that.
Did we
that
say
kind
like
of thing.
more of a trailish, like, you know, you have like the exercise, nature kind of concept?
Yeah.
Is what I thought we had.
Cause that is in our
Talked
master
about it,
plan too,
yeah.
is having something like that.
How-
And there is a pond on the field or in that space too, right?
We entered into a professional services agreement for concept firm with Westwood Engineering. And they're going to give us 3.
They're gonna give us 2 concepts and then yeah, 3 revisions.
So the area, remember, is heavily wooded, and it is a floodplain in the back. The very front part on Spring Hill, we didn't keep that, we only purchased the back. So the bottom pond, half of the pond, there's like a small one and a big one. So the big one back, the house is not on those. It'll eventually be generally, but from behind the house back is all it knows. And back in that corner, this corner will be a pump station. Possibly another. But you see all that vacant land right there, it's all kind of flat. And then it pretty well drops off and there's a large and a lot of trees. So there are several flat spots. Just a rough concept to kind of get us talking. Was some parking along where McMahon is not, so we're building that road. And there'll be some parking along there, a couple of entrances into it. Because we wouldn't enter from Spring Hill, so we'll have to enter from McMahon. And then the things that we've kicked around for them to try to put in there for us to look at something was a pavilion. Maybe something that could be rented for reunion or something, like, you know, while we're doing this, we kind of also generate revenue, so we have to maintain the place throughout the years. Maybe with some type of outside cook stove or something, when they were having a party, splash pad area. either soccer practice, small fields, basketball, tennis. Just several things, if y'all can roll some of those out, they can put them into where they might fit. And then we have an opportunity to bring those to you and look at them and say, no, not this, no, not this. And they'll make a couple changes to those plans.
I think originally we did discuss trying to stick with the original, like, feel of the space and do more of a nature walk type stuff. I like the idea of the splash pad.
We don't have them yet.
Yeah, that's what I was.
A lot of people are asking for it.
Where I guess like the pond area is it big enough where you could have like, I don't know if it has ducks or things like that, like feeding of the ducks with a little
Or like a
pavilion.
fishing pier.
Right.
Mhm.
We did ask them to look at that. And there's some coordination with the Texas Parks and Wildlife for fish, and there was a study or something they're going to look at to make sure that it maintains the water and the fish don't wash out
Mhm.
downstream. So that's something to look at too. Tell them if they'd be interested in some type of fishing dog. It's an option.
One comment that I had was just proximity to that park that's already accessible to the public. Are we gonna spend a lot of money on play sets and stuff in that area? Or is that what y'all were thinking? 'Cause it's literally a hop and a skip down to those new houses that are already around that pond that floods the road right there.
So, I think a bunch of playground equipment. They kind of plan, but we didn't talk about really a major playground area there. Now that park you're talking about though does belong to that community. So really it's not open to the public. It belongs to Keeneland.
Oh, okay.
There's no parking or anything there. It's for the residents. So, not saying that somebody couldn't play on it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't kick you out hopefully, but it's not a city park.
Feel like it would go both ways though. They would be over there, right?
Yes.
As well, so.
And there is a park going in at Half Point that we can talk to you about later down on the agenda, which is the development right beside Key.
So I think we have
I would say keep it in nature.
nature, possibly fishing, splash pad sounds great. That would be a really cool feature that we don't have, and then really just like the trails.
That's what I was gonna say, frisbee golf, because it
Like
doesn't mess
frisbee,
with
yeah, the footprint, that's what I was thinking.
Exercise type stations along the trail.
Yeah,
Those are all the things we kind of threw out.
do you need like more of an official list from us, or what would?
For them to get going with the
Yeah.
concepts.
Okay.
We haven't already thrown out the.
I think we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
So sounds like we're not too interested in having a lot of playground equipment.
So I've got five pads in working space. Talk about trails through it. That connect with England, connect with Belmont.
Yeah, but we also talk about mountain bike type trail.
Yeah, so, that was the other thing. Having some sort of like trail for this way. Which King Double, I guess, is a walking trail.
I mean, we could definitely have the concrete days. But there was discussion that since there's the creek through there, if you want to have a behind you.
would it be like the green belt?
I mean, it's pretty popular.
Because the
That's
green belt's very
bikers,
popular.
Yeah.
I've been down to Denton's new bike trail that they put in, and the city actually manages that one. And actually kind of manages it a little bit poorly, in my opinion, after the rains and stuff. And so it just seems like anyways, it's more of a headache. The group that of mountain bikers that I'm with, they kind of shy away from that. They end up going down toward like Corinth and stuff like that, North Shores, etc., just because it takes so much to maintain those mountain biking trails to do it well, with any kind of creeks and stuff nearby.
So you, yeah.
I would have
so,
thought the
yeah.
opposite. So That's
Mhm.
good to, that's good information.
Just my input, but. Well, I mean, like the Corinth one, they have, I don't know the term, but somebody that's designated. And they actually police it and go in there and fix it. And they're down there almost every other day, it seems like, filling in stuff. They do like the natural stuff. The guys like, especially summertime right now, they're like, we need a lot of cover, kind of following the creek down. This space is only 500 feet wide. I can't imagine, that you got 500 feet of creek is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, there
Um,
would probably be 2 crossings.
Yeah.
Could
Um,
possibly be 3, probably 2.
Could we at least look into it and see like if there's a way that we could do it where it really is beneficial and
And that's what we.
Play around with the
we kinda
idea
hire
and-
them to do it, and they design for other cities and they go and look at what everybody else is doing. They'll tell us whether they think it'll work there or won't. work.
yeah.
So as they design, they, I guess, from a maintenance standpoint, like he was saying, they would kind of give us,
Like
what
what
that,
it needs to.
what that would look like for the city.
Yeah,
To
so we
maintain.
it.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't been out there, if you can go on your own, or if you wanna go as a group, we can schedule time to go out there. If you haven't, you really ought to go look at it. We've got a couple, ATVs where we can take y'all out there. Take a look at it.
Is it open since there's no fences and stuff? Is it okay if I
haven't
stop,
driven,
pull
but
in there
I
and?
Still
Okay.
haven't, I wanna go into it and I haven't done it either.
Yes, I haven't.
Renting the front space, so we have permission to be on the property. so
Okay.
if Somebody does happen to come out there, whether it's city or whoever, you can just let them know you're on the parks board. And you have to probably walk to the back.
Flash our park.
If there's a locked gate, or you can get a little curtain, make arrangements to unlock it for you.
Oh, there is a locked gate. I may be thinking of the wrong property then.
So where the,
Or you went.
Oh, okay. I played the fifth there.
On record.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, haven't been back there.
Right here,
Yeah.
and then there's a path that takes you right here in between these ponds. And then there's a gate here that you will have to go through, and that one's locked. And then to get back here, there's another gate right about here that's also, it might be locked, but there's a gate there. That's when you know you're in the right place.
Okay, thank you.
And then do not drive your vehicle through this area.
Cause you won't get it back.
You won't get it back. So that people need the ATV back there.
Mhm.
I mean, you can walk it. I would suggest not walking it, calling me and bringing up ATVs. You can walk it, it's just.
it's wooded, we haven't done anything back there unless y'all have recently. We've talked about, when things slow down a little bit, maybe the beginning of fall. They'll go back and try to do some of the underbrush and things like that.
So to schedule, to be able to see it, we just need to contact you. Okay, okay.
All right, so we'll just move on to, potential parkland on FM 2931.
Yeah, so there's a recent development approved on 2931 that will include a community park. In addition to the park, the city was able to obtain 9 additional acres of frontage on 2931. Currently, there are no plans. It's a good opportunity for economic development. However, nothing's been finalized yet. So there is an option that a park may be put in that area. Secondly, we also have the option to purchase 5 acres just south of the Emily Apartments. We had talked about that property a little bit in the past, and I can swing over and show you that one. That is one that we had thought was already given to us. It's not.
landmark person.
Right, I'm,
the
that's, I'm
Silverado,
kind of
isn't
like,
it?
where is that?
Farther south.
For neighborhood or business.
Once you make that turn, you.
Oh, there we are. Yeah, there we are.
There you go.
Okay,
Make that a tiny bit bigger. This area right here, was discussed when the Emily Apartments were discussed with the city, to annex and to build. And they were, at that time, they were willing to donate the property, but somewhere along the line, they ended up paying the city the fees rather than donating the land. But they said that they're still willing to sell the land to us now for
80.
80,000. And it's how many acres? 5 acres. It does drop off. It's a hill up here and it drops off. But it's up at the top, you can put some basketball goals. And I think one of the board members had mentioned having something in this area would be good because the kids were coming over to Silverado to use their, from the apartments to use their stuff. I just wanted to let you know that property is available if we're interested in it. It's $80,000.
What do you need from us to make the determination that you guys will purchase?
Do you want it? Do you have a vision for something to go
Okay.
there and what that would be? And then, of course, we would take that to city council for approval if that was a recommendation from the board.
So we already have 9 acres donated, right?
So-
Correct?
But that's not. That's, for- yeah.
That's in a different location.
It's right here.
Okay.
Connect these trails all the way across town.
Okay.
That's why we brought that up. So the development that's working on right now is building homes through here. And then we'll have a community park somewhere in this area. And then out here on the frontage, we have how many acres? 9? No. It's less
Yeah,
than-
it's 9 acres.
It says 9 in the
Okay.
summary.
So we have approximately 9 acres here. That
Okay.
could be used for anything. So it doesn't have to be a park. Our municipal development district could try to solicit or get in some businesses there and have some kind of incentive for them. We really didn't have plans for it. It just was an odd shaped property and, we said, well, you might as well donate that too. And they said, okay. And we said, okay. So we had that.
So that could be economic development and in the back could be an area for the kids that are coming from the apartment complex.
Could be a little food truck park.
Oh, I like that
There's lots-
idea.
There's lots of things.
More of like an urban type park. Cause you can have
Yeah.
basketball courts and then you can have more of like the food truck picnic tables. You can make it more interactive, not so much nature.
Right, yeah, I like that. I'm a foodie. I like the food truck idea. Exactly.
Yes, and the new school's going over here on this other side.
And it sounds like the 5 acre spot is a little bit more appealing to our needs rather than the 9 acres. Right?
Yeah,
And like where it's at and the shape of it. Okay.
And we don't have to do anything with it anytime soon. There's no rush. We just wanted to let you know we have it and if it's something that.
But I feel like for the 5 acres, just to me, I was like, I feel like there's more of a need to kind
Mhm.
of jump on that because you don't
mhm.
want to get in a situation where then they decide not to sell it to us or, because initially they were gonna donate it. So I just feel like we need to just go ahead and jump on that. So then we have, right, so then we have.
They did build a really nice bridge too, coming across to it. I think it's right here. I drove out there the other day to look at it. There's a walking bridge that goes across to the open area.
So would you like to make a motion?
You guys can. have as well.
Is that an option to?
I think that's where we're at with this. Like if we want to,
Do
right?
you want to make a recommendation? to city
Well,
council?
yes, I would like to make a recommendation to city council for us to purchase that land for $80,000.
Give me a second that motion.
I'll second that.
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. That was exciting. Just, we didn't buy land, but we want to. Okay, so next we'll receive an update from Jessica regarding area sports and just how Parks and Rec can maybe help. Here you go.
Oh,
And I don't know, I have extras, I don't know if any of y'all want it. But if you wanna look at it, I broke it out by sport. And then it has what fields they have, and then a different type of suggestion for soccer, because they have nothing right now. And I think when you add it up, it's,
I added up earlier, it was $8,100.
but that doesn't include any of the like year-round field maintenance, because I don't have a way to see how much that is if cities want to use who they already contract with and all of that.
And I think
So-
last time we talked about how like this would also be a really good opportunity for the city to kind of figure out and learn about field maintenance, so that way when we do have these sports complex, there's more of like a knowledge base behind it and experience, so I definitely think that's something that we should look into and possibly recommend.
I think it'll also help with community buy-in on what, that the Parks and Rec and the city council are trying to do something and moving towards something that involves the sports area. Because every time something's posted, or almost every time something's posted about improvements to this park or changes to this park, there's so much backlash in there. And parents sharing with backlash about, we need softball fields or baseball fields or soccer stuff, and so I feel like this would give us some community buy-in that we're doing what we can while we can, like. This isn't everything we'll do, but this is what we're doing now to show that we are supporting.
but this is, oh, sorry, go ahead. No,
So this proposal to, assist or to take over the maintenance altogether?
I would say take over the maintenance. We have a maintenance person, it's one person. And there's stuff that he is working on, like he's working on the sprinkler systems right now. And he's working on some of the fencing stuff right now. But it's too much for one person. And so as much as the city would be willing to take over, I think would be best suggestion.
You're okay with doing that?
No, we're all volunteers.
Volunteers.
Yeah,
For the softball and baseball fields, are they the same? Are they Brockett and Edmonton?
so there's one baseball field and one softball field at Brockett, and then there's one baseball field at the admin building and one football field at the admin building.
but these are all at the schools.
And the school's contribution right now is they mow.
So then, I guess my question is again, before we commit, we would need to have conversations with the school because, or the school district rather, because it's their property and then we invest. And then they decide, like, is there a way that we could get into some kind of MOU, some kind of agreement or contract with them to ensure that once we put up the funds to do the maintenance for them, that they're not gonna turn around and say, oh, no, y'all can't do it, we're gonna do something else.
So all that's possible. The school will do away with these fields eventually. And they've already, said that will happen eventually. So they would just be temporary anyways until the city was able to have fields of our own. So they're definitely, we can enter into an agreement with the school. I think the association has an agreement. And that's something we could do. One thing that council's gonna ask though, is this is not just a city of Auburn program. And why should the city of Auburn taxpayers fit the bill for the children or not? I know that's common, so we need to be prepared to kind of explain that, or will there be an offset? Will we get other communities to help as well?
Do we have like a running total of like the numbers, like how many are Aubrey residents? How many are of the area but not in Aubrey? Is there any?
Oh, you mean like the
that?
difference between city, because they're all Aubrey residents, but I don't know what it would be, the difference between the 4 square miles and ETJ.
So all of the things that are in Auburn.
Yeah, they go to Aubrey schools.
They go to Auburn School District.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's some kid that in California or whatever, they're not able to find it.
No, we try to keep that, and all the surrounding cities, it's kind of like,
I think there's like a percentage, right?
right now, we don't have any.
Okay, that's good.
So, but we try to keep, because we were having issues with kids going to other towns, specifically Auburn and Pilot Point were having issues. And so yeah, we're trying to, end that.
The association still wants to continue to be an association.
Mhm.
They're not wanting to transfer to our Parks and Rec.
Not yet.
Did you see that happening? Sure. Bigger and get films or?
Personally. My personal answer might be different than the associations, but I think that would be eventually the best interest, but
Is this the association of the board? Is this everyone presenting, whether it be someone from the council to present this? to them?
mhm. I mean, I can do it if I need to do it, so, but yeah.
All the boards trying to find.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah, we got together and I even got with the commissioners for each sport to make sure that I was getting everything that we needed, so.
So with the registration fees, would that cover anything other than uniforms and umpires and all that kind of stuff?
It doesn't cover much outside of that. Cause we pay all the bills for the fields. And then what little we have left, we try to go towards scholarships or equipment. Like baseball and softball raised quite a bit of money over the last year. But the majority of it went to replacing equipment, because we had a bunch of it that went missing, so.
On the budget, you could kind of show to council when we do a
Mm-hmm.
presentation. And these prices you have on here is kind of what you've seen and what you've been paying. Like for the backstop net replacement, the dirt that's needed, all these dollar amounts is kind of what you guys have been.
Yes, that's what I found. So the backstop net was kind of a hard one for me. That's why it's kind of a bigger gap. Because depending on how you do it, you can buy the net. And if we had the equipment and the people that could put it up, then you're just paying cost of the actual net. But if it's a situation where we would need people to install it, it gets more expensive.
When I was totaling it up, I just went with the higher end, so we could. I mean, it's like one of those catch-22s, because I know it's temporary and it's hard to think about putting money into something temporary, but I also do know that like our kids need and deserve it. And I want to be able to also show those parents that we're wanting to invest in them. So I think this is a great proposal. So if anybody would want to get a motion or do
As
this.
far as temporary, that's something that we could get out of the school, you know, if they could guarantee us 2 years or something. Cause it's gonna take that long. for us to
Mhm.
build something,
Mhm,
not
yeah.
longer, so.
And the school is aware of this conversation and presenting to city council and all that.
So
So.
I assume they're gonna want the kids to practice, but when they do come to high school.
Mhm.
you know, They
Mhm,
already have the
mhm.
experience. We'll be happy to. If y'all make a motion, that we have to pass it on and then ask for you to do a presentation. When you get your agenda.
Is there anyone that has any other questions or concerns or comments regarding?
My thing is, I think in the back of my mind, we need a commitment of 2 years. They're not gonna wipe that thing clean. I know we just passed a rather large bond. Just make sure that they're not just in
From the
a
school
year, yeah,
The current intention is not to do that.
off of this last bond.
Yeah, our contract with them, we just signed the contract 2 weeks ago and it is for. I don't remember if we did it for 12 months or 24 months. I'd have to double check, but I could get the answer.
I think we need a minimum of 2 years.
Yeah,
Before.
and they said that they would give like a good amount of time before they made any decisions.
So even with that, like we could go ahead and pass this along if we wanted to and allow for city council to kind of discuss that as well before we make sure that is official, you know?
Mhm.
Anybody else have any? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Get it
Make a motion that we present this to the city council and Jessica, if you don't mind, or somebody else.
Yeah.
Puts together a presentation for council and just say, hey, this is what we would like to invest in the kids, since we don't have any fields right now for sports. And just sell it to them that way
for
get
the
a minimum-
proposed budget.
for
Yeah.
the proposed budget, yeah. Not to exceed what's on this paper here.
Anybody second the motion?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, and then we can go over budget report from Kurt. Or somebody. The Parks and Rec coordinator, so.
Oh, I'm getting that down.
You know, she likes to get up there and talk.
So we do have several active projects going, so in your staff report, it's pretty much the same information we had last time. But I did just get a quick update for you guys, so you know. Cash in the bank right now for park fees that we collected is 2.2 million. And we're averaging about 600,000 a month. That we're bringing in fees. That's very variable. We're having permits with building houses, so some months we may have 100 permits and some months we may have 25. So it's variable, but we're averaging 60,000 a month bringing in fees. And between the two budgets, the 23-24 budget and then the 24-25 that we just workshopped and is due for approval, we've allocated 1.1 million in expenses. So cash in the bank to use for funding 1.1 million with about 60 coming in.
Great, thank you. Okay. That's pretty much it for the department updates. We just have our new business. We need to make a recommendation to city council regarding appointing new members to the board. And I'm curious as to who, I thought we already did that.
But there's a new application.
So we have one vacancy, and there's also a new application that was included in your packet. Forgive me, I'm coming out of this a little late. It says that the vacancy could be filled by a resident or someone from the ETJ. If you'll remember, we do have to have a majority of the board members to be from the city limits. And we already have that, so either one is acceptable for this one. The agenda item is worded so that you could appoint multiple. You could appoint one person as a board member and the other person as another alternate, if you so choose. And my understanding that there was one alternate that's been here for several meetings
Yeah, it was Peter.
that you may be.
I was
good
gonna
recommendation.
bring him up because he was quick to let me know he wouldn't be here tonight. But he normally is and he's usually willing to step in. So if we have a vacancy, I would really like to
Appoint him.
appoint him for that position.
So can we make that recommendation? Cause I would second that in a group.
All right, so I make a motion to recommend, can I make a motion? Yep. I make a motion to recommend Peter as a board member.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I get thrown off when I'm the motion.
You also have the applicant. That's
And
in
then
there
I
in your
think-
packet, if you so choose to.
I
to
think
have another
last time,
alternate.
kind of what we agreed to is like, because we can have as many alternates as we want.
Right.
And so for us, I feel like if we all collectively like what is in the application, we can bring on alternates, because clearly they're very helpful, filling those roles.
We do keep these board member applications on file for about a year.
Mhm.
If you decided you wanted to waive. You have the option to do either one.
Did anybody look over the, can you show that?
Yep.
Thank you.
Vicky Cow, Fathom Street. Do we know where Fathom Street is? Do you
This
have
looks
any
like
idea?
multiple boards application, right?
Mhm. It looked like the library, and do we happen to know if on the library?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Can we hold the application and investigate that before we
Make it.
Sure.
make a
Sure.
decision?
It's a residency requirement. Is there one? Time wise?
I don't think there is.
Not one.
1 year. 1 year.
Might be 1 year.
So I'll check about the
Okay.
library board. And then we'll add it to your next agenda if
And
she's not
then
online.
we just need to consider the action on approval for minutes from our May 7th meeting and our June 4th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for May 7th and June 4th.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
I,
All right. Is there any other agenda items?
For future request, if there's something you want to talk
Yeah,
about at the
there's
next.
any other request? Or do we need to go back to that agenda?
I was just gonna, see if I can add something for staff updates.
Mhm.
We just received this today, it's for the Hot Point Ranch, development next to King Hunt on Spring Hill.
Mhm.
And they submitted their park, civil plans, concept drawings, so I was just gonna show. Like I said, this preliminary, we're still reviewing it, but what they're proposing is, a sport court. Based on Kurt's knowledge, it appears they're trying to make it multi, basketball plus possibly pickleball. His concern was that it was getting too busy. But I'll let you guys look at it. And then there's a small playground area. And then there is a soccer field, a U12 is what they're proposing. So it'll have bleachers. These are both the same. just to look at it. The problem with the soccer field. That one has the bleachers, this would be the soccer field. The problem with that is for games and all, there's not really parking. So I was visioning it just as a practice field. Cause I don't think we're gonna be able to get parking on this, Connecticut Road, but I can ask the engineers where we are with that.
Yeah, if you could do even just some, I know it's close and easement.
Yeah, so we can look at that.
Pull
I
in.
think this is about 20 parking places, so I don't think that would be enough
Yeah.
for a game, but.
Hey, a practice field is great. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything, problems you have, we can share with them in their development agreement, they're kind of already set on them, the minimum things they have to provide. So if you don't have any comments, we can pass those back to them. Okay.
I can't see.
Did you see it? The menu?
Is that what that says?
No, go ahead, yeah.
Sorry.
Think so. I
Mhm.
think this
Oh, that's the
must be.
court, no, that's.
That's the court, right, that's a
They
soccer.
also called it the-
That's
their-
cute.
their
Okay.
Sign and monument sign and everything. They proposed it, we called, you know.
How far is that gonna be from that 20 acres that we already own? Is it? And then,
Half
it-
a mile or less.
okay, that's.
So
what
we
I was
can make
thinking.
some
I'm Thinking
connection.
maybe even a quarter of a mile. Cause it looks like it's
Mhm.
on the east side of their development, isn't it? Potentially.
It's kind of in the center. So there'll be a large commercial corner, and then the park. and then
Yeah.
homes will start.
Okay. So kind of where that ground is broken off of, where they broke ground on 377. On the east side of 377, directly east of that is where this is
Well, it
proposed,
actually
right?
Right off of Spring Hill, so it goes off of Spring Hill and curves around the 370.
Okay.
So it'll be right across from the high school.
I think this is
It'll be
the
where
same
actual
thing.
park would be.
It is.
Oh, okay. There'll be 3 parks, then about a half a mile. Right there.
Yeah. This one will be the cities.
Yeah.
Park. So out or back in just a little bit. That's fine, man. So right about here. Can you back up just a little bit? Yeah. Because we're lining up over here with the roadway. Okay. I want to say that it's right here.
Oh, okay.
It's cutting through like this, and so the park area will be right here.
You said that corner, there will be some type of like commercial,
Yeah,
so there would be parking,
well,
but there's parking. That's what I'm- For
correct.
that.
They would have to, yeah, they would have to cross the road though,
Mm.
but yes, forgot about that. Good catch.
Thanks.
After hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be a pretty busy corner though,
Yeah.
but we could, we could put up lighting and crosswalks or something to think about.
And they already have it in their plans for bleachers.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was in one of those pictures.
I don't think they're like the ball bleachers.
No, but still, there's, it's,
Very nice.
is there any future, let's see, future agenda requests, council or board members, staff, citizens may request items to be included for future agendas. Discussion is limited to what the request is for and if and when the item can be put on the future agenda.
I have a question for Trevety Park.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take for us to get the concepts? Because could that be put on the agenda?
Good question.
Could be the first week, maybe the
Mhm.
first, then tomorrow, right? Probably a little quick, we might have some talking points for it, but I'm thinking probably October. Have it finalized, because with this concept, this one's really complicated because it's rough terrain and there's a bridge needed on that road and all of that, so they've included a lot of that surveying and groundwork in it. I would think it would take them probably 6 weeks to get us something back. They've been really fast on all of our other ones.
We could just put to have an update just to be on the safe side.
We'll definitely have it on the,
Yeah.
so you know,
Are there any other requests for items to discuss next time?
Of course, the application.
Yes.
she did that, and that's the- I'm doing next month too, but I forgot, what's our, is September our completion date?
Would we know if the city council is gonna make a decision on buying that 5 acres by our next meeting?
Yes, we have time to put it on the agenda's due next week. So we can get it on the agenda, we'll have something for you.
I think there's, okay. And then, of course, AAPSA.
So, it, you definitely want to do a presentation, whether we post an action item or not, it depends on how quick you have a response on it. Not sure how that'll go. We'll plan to post an action item and then I'll get with the city manager and see how he wants to work that. Because
Okay.
we've already finished the budget, for this year. So this would be something on top of that, whether it be in a budget amendment. and see how he wants to. handle it. Sounds like you were wanting, recommending soon as possible. I was just looking at the schedule. It's kind of late for August. So spring.
I mean, with some of those items, it should be able to.
So you have a practice schedule of who's on the field.
Yeah, I can get it from
or
there.
that's done,
Mhm.
practices or something
Yeah, we can find that out.
started. Yeah.
It's already. scheduled.
Right. Yeah, they're about to start, but there's no games. Even on football, they play at the high school for home games, so.
Practicing for football, now
Mhm.
soccer, baseball.
But some of these things probably could be implemented as soon, like hands and bees and bowls and you know, those items.
Some of these
They
may
have to.
require a significant
Yeah.
budget amendment.
Mhm.
Where's, I don't know, we talked about it, where's soccer?
It's at the very end.
For practice?
Yeah, and that one's not really even for monetary. It's just, the city has some open green spaces like the parking over here. And if we can just utilize them for practices, and it would just be practices.
My concern with that area over there is it's not flat. If y'all want to go walk it and tell me if you can find a space where we could put something there, then by all means, we can go out there and y'all can practice there. I just don't know how feasible it is based off of like the actual terrain, because it is not great. The other places that you are looking at, the property behind Sonic and High Meadow, is actually something I'm checking out tomorrow myself, specifically for the reasons of putting soccer goals there. So I'm gonna check that out, see if we can find a big enough space. And as a matter of fact, since y'all are here, I'll ask you, what size soccer field would you need to practice on? I'm thinking specifically the length of goals apart.
Our association goes by. that we could reference, or-
And it varies by age group, obviously. So U14 is the largest one. Right now, the U12 and 14 practice on and play on the same size fields. And that's just.
I think they all have specific sizes. It's just, you go from U12 to U11. They do have variant space on it that you can find online. You're right. Because they can range from 75 to 85 yards long versus 45 to 55 long. And so I think the thing is we want to put something out there that is going to be sufficient and to use the practice. So instead taking the field at 14 new fields and letting the smaller kids run around with that, or making a 12 U and letting the 14 practice on a smaller site.
Brady.
You have.
A lot of times you'll see, you might have, like a situation like this, you'll get your field as big as you can, but then you're gonna have. That one's running north to south, then you'll have 3 fields that needs to go. And most of the time, like, if you're running your practice, you're not gonna use the whole field. Most of the time, because you don't know where not practice. So you'll use the smaller course, like go 2 games to practice, even 14 unit, 2 games to practice. Majority of fields, fields, things like that.
That's what we did last year was, we split the football field at the admin building. And we just played sideways. So U14 practiced on the south since they were there first. They got the better portion, the better field. We practiced on the north since we were behind them. And we just went side to side. We have pop-up goals that AAYSA supplied for us. And so we were able to make it the size that we needed.
And that is one thing I think every team for soccer has their own pop-up goals. So if it was a thing where we did like as long as the 14U and we only had one team and they wanted to use the link, they could just pop up their goals.
That makes sense.
One other location, we had a request, since we're under construction in Wesleyan. And that's why we were talking about it today, that's why I threw him under the bus. And we were just trying to figure out our property that we had and could we set up something temporary. And we have another piece of property off the Rock Hill. And I don't know about parking, but it's a possibility and it's pretty flat. So Kurt's gonna look at that, but if you can give us kind of rough numbers or follow up with him, we can see what we've got and even invite you guys to look at it, see if we want to set something up. And then who manages all the scheduling of these buildings? Do they-
For practices, usually the commissioners.
So we currently, if we were able to do that, then we would get with the commissioners and say, hey, we've got 2 other places you guys can use for
Mhm.
practice in the middle. And then we need to know kind of at a minimum, obviously we need trash cans, but, do we need it marked? I know we would mow it, that kind of thing. But we need to have markings. What do we need to do?
It's helpful for the younger kids
Mm-hmm.
to have the paint on the ground because they're trying to learn, inbound, keeping the ball inbounds. Once you get 8, they can just put cones up and they know that that's the sideline and end zone, but maybe one small field with lines, just based on my experience, and then let the older ones figure it out.
Is there anything else to cover? It is 6:59. We are adjourned.